Hello and welcome to You and Me Creamery. My name is Delaney Drake. I am the head farmer here at the Creamery. I milk the sheep and I make all of the dairy products. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys have joined me, whether it's live or in the recording. Thank you guys so much for just hopping on and being a part of this really amazing journey for us and for the people we're helping. So thanks. This live, we're going to be focusing on kind of our plans for 2022 for the Creamery, as well as sort of answer some of the top 3 questions I've been getting from Messenger. A lot of people have been curious about our products, whether it's sheep or the actual milk products. And so I just wanted to hop on here and to relay the information in as concise a way as possible. So to get us started, I wanted to do a really quick, brief introduction of our farm so that you know kind of where we're coming from and how we got started. And then we'll move into the questions that a lot of people have been sending me. So we started our dairy about 2 years ago. That's when we got our sheep. We got them as babies. So we had about a whole year before we got fresh milk, but this last season was our first milking season and it was amazing. We had some great customers, some great products being sent out, and as someone who is absolutely in love with sheep's milk, obviously, I was really proud of what we accomplished and what we provided for our community. And one of the reasons we are doing this and kind of started the whole sheep dairy adventure is that I have a lot of food sensitivities. My stomach is really, really sensitive. And sheep's milk was the only milk that my stomach could handle. And we just found out that sheep's milk is really hard to come by and extremely hard to get like in stores or even just from farmers who have sheep. A lot of people who do milk, they do it for their families and don't have a ton of extra. And if they do have extra, it's extremely hard to sell it. In our state anyway. We live in Tennessee. Our farm is in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's about 45 minutes south of Nashville for anyone who's used to or knows the area. And so in Tennessee, it's really hard to sell raw milk specifically, which is what we do. And so we just kind of figured out that we couldn't buy the milk, so we just decided to start our own flock, start our own milking system, and we found out that we had a lot of extra. We have dairy sheep specifically, and so we ended up having a lot of milk, more than we planned, and we decided to see if there was anyone else in our community that needed sheep's milk, because I really believe that people like me who have sensitive stomachs and need sheep's milk should have access to it in whatever form they want, raw, pasteurized, any of that. And so we decided to start providing sheep's milk, raw sheep's milk, to our community. And there's been a long journey on figuring out what that means, how to do it, how to legally be able to provide that where we're not getting in trouble and we're not really going against what the state of Tennessee wants us to be doing. So in order to do that, we have to do some kind of unique workarounds that are not super confusing when they're explained, but a lot of people don't know about them. I certainly didn't. I was one of those people who grew up buying the $2 stuff at the $2 cow's milk at the grocery store and was perfectly fine with that until I hit about 25 years of age, and then my stomach just decided not only was milk not okay, but a lot of other things. And so I never really looked into what raw milk meant, what pasteurization meant, or really what food freedom really meant. We've been looking into that a little bit more, and that might be a live for another day. But it's definitely one of those, we believe that if I am not a proponent of raw versus pasteurized. I honestly believe that it's whatever your stomach can handle, whatever your bank account can handle, whatever is just right for you and your family, for your belief systems. Sorry for a second. I'm getting little notifications, so I hope the video is not too choppy. But yeah, I believe that you should have choices, basically, when it comes to food. And in a lot of ways, you are restricted in some foods you are allowed to purchase, allowed to make. And so we just looked at all that and went, you know what? We need to, one, work on, changing some things in the system, but also provide milk for others who really need it, like myself. And that's kind of where it started. This last year we had 4 milking ewes, and we plan to have 6 next year. Our milking will start late March, early April. We usually keep the lambs on the moms for a certain amount of time, so between lambing, which is when they're born, to when we'll have milk available to the public, it's kind of, we'll have to wait and see how much is available. Or when I say public, it's to our herd share members. But we hope to have an abundance this year and hoping to be able to share that with a lot of people. I believe I covered everything. I am a born Californian, but I hope Tennessee has adopted me because we love it. And so we're from California, but we moved to Tennessee about 6 years ago. And I'm a mom to 2 kids, both under the age of 3, which has been a fun little adventure, pulling in the infant into the milking parlor and milking the sheep. This past year we were milking by hand, but this coming year we got a milking machine, and hopefully that'll be able to go a little faster and I'll be able to be a little bit more hands off, so that I can run with the rugrats as well as milk. We milk morning and afternoon. I usually try to milk early in the morning to where the kids are asleep, and then I milk in the afternoon. Once my husband's come home, he can take care of the kids and I can go out and milk. So that's kind of what our system is. That's who I am. I am a stay-at-home mom. I am a dairy sheep farmer. I am a shepherdess. I wear a lot of hats. I'm the delivery person. I am the baker, the pastry chef, I guess. We don't do a ton with grains, but I think there's a lot. I've done chocolate and other things that I think can go into the realm of pastry. And so I am the cook, I'm the cleaner, I make soap, so I'm a soap maker as well. And we are cheese, we've done cheese too, so I'm a cheese maker. So there's a lot of things that, a lot of working parts here on the dairy, and I'm the one who's the evil mastermind trying to make sure everything goes as planned. So that's who I am. Let's get into the questions I have been, that people have been asking. I have them over here so that I reference them and I'm not missing any of them. Excuse me. And I keep getting a notification that my video might not be the best. So I am so sorry if I'm choppy or if the frames are a little wonky. I'll try to see what the issue is with that for our next live. I've not had this issue before, so I have a feeling maybe it could be because we have kind of an overcast day, so there's not as much light and it's not like connecting and I don't know, maybe it's the connection in the clouds. I don't know. But bear with me, and thank you guys so much for sticking with me even with the technical issues. So one of the things that people have been asking is milk available? And for next year, hopefully December and January, we will have milk available. We plan to do a 10 to 11 month milking season. This last season, we only did about 5 or 6 months. It was our first season. It was me trying to figure things out between milking and the actual products, and sort of also figuring out what our holiday products were going to be. So I needed to pull back on the milking. So we don't have any milk currently, but we will have a longer milking season next year, and that will so normally December and January we will have milk. We just don't this year because it was our first. And if you guys are interested in our raw milk, oh, sorry. I was just checking my notes. Next year, if you are interested in our raw sheep's milk, our lambs, again, are due in the very end of March, early April. So that's kind of when herd shares will be opened up. That is also when we will, about late February, early March is when we'll be taking people who are interested in our herd shares and want to sign up ahead of time. And those who aren't sure, we'll start contacting and doing the paperwork once we have milk. A lot of people I have come across have struggled with wanting to get fully immersed in the sheep milk world, primarily because they are unsure of the taste. And I conferred, is that the right word? I spoke with a bunch of my dairy friends, those who milk sheep. I asked them, like, how do you explain what sheep's milk tastes like? Because I always say it's super, super sweet, very creamy, delicious. I always say it's kind of the dessert of most of the milks out there, the cow, goat, and sheep. It's kind of the dessert one, in my opinion. And I think that's kind of been the consensus that I've got, the census that I got from a lot of the dairy farmers. A lot of people said it's like half and half that you put in like coffee. Those little cream packets that you put in coffee, like at a Starbucks or something, it's like that. Some people have said it's like melted ice cream, which I think has more to do with the texture than the flavor. But I think if you had basic ice cream with no additives like vanilla or mint, it probably would exactly have that type of taste. Same with if you're more used to custards versus ice cream. I think it has more of a melted custard taste and feel to it. It's a lot thicker than goat's milk and cow's milk. Sheep's milk is what's called naturally homogenized. So the cream is integrated into the base liquid, the milk. And goat's milk is naturally homogenized too, but the difference is that when you agitate the goat's milk, you stir it, you mix it, whatever, the globules that create the fat content in sheep's milk actually break down. Whereas sheep's milk cling together, the globules cling together and don't break down as much. That's why you can use sheep's milk, you can freeze it, you can thaw it, you can still make cheese. Goat's milk, you can't really freeze, thaw, and then make cheese. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work as well. So that is kind of the biggest difference, and why people are hesitant to try sheep's milk, is they're like, oh, well, I don't love the taste of goat's milk. I don't know if I like sheep's milk. And it's like, they don't taste anything alike. They're very, very different. A lot of people who I've shared our sheep's milk with, who are like, I absolutely hate goat's milk, really like the sheep's milk. And to me, I honestly don't believe that there's any one's better than the other. It's just preference on taste and what your stomach can handle. We never really did goat's milk because I immediately knew, going from cow's milk, that the cow and the goat didn't work for me. So we just immediately went to sheep because that was the first one that really sat well and did well for us. But that's kind of one of the like sub questions I get about if sheep's milk's available and what it tastes like. Like that's kind of the combo question I get. So I hope I answered that for you all. I'm just checking to see if there's any comments. Nope, so I think we're good to go. The second question I get is, what is a herd share? So, we provide raw sheep's milk. In Tennessee, you are not legally allowed to sell raw milk. It is illegal to, I think the wording is, it's illegal to distribute raw milk in any form, not just sheep's milk. And so distribution could be sharing, it could be taste tests, it could be all of the above. And so the only way you can provide raw milk to your community in Tennessee is through what's called a herd share, or labeling it as pet food, not for human consumption. And for the pet food, you still need a food license, like a pet food license, from the state in order to sell that. We do provide pet food options. Those are usually for like one-time purchases that people, they don't want a reoccurring milk supply, they just want to try it. We do have that available, but we provide our milk to our herd share members, which are reoccurring pickups. And so the pet food milk is really what if we have any excess, which we don't always have. So those are a little less stable, they're not always available, and that's kind of the excess side. For our main product, we sell through herd shares. The best way I can explain a herd share is it's like a membership. Excuse me. It's where the customer or your community member purchases a share of your flock. It's a one-time purchase, and then they provide a monthly upkeep fee. So it's basically like you owning a part of the flock. That way we provide milk that is legally yours, and we're not selling it. All we are doing is we are the caretakers, we are the providers in the way that we package it and we give it to you, but we're not technically selling it. You're paying more for the labor and the work than you are for the milk itself. So one-time purchase of a herd share, our herd shares are half a gallon per share. So you can buy 2 shares for a gallon. And what we do is we package it, and then once a month, once every 2 weeks, once a week, kind of depends on our agreement, you pick up your milk. And so there is some contracts that are signed, mostly to just make sure that legally the milk is yours and we're not selling it. So you just sign a few papers saying that you bought however many herd shares and that you agree to every month pay an upkeep fee. And that upkeep fee is basically the monthly fee for the milk that we provide. And then in addition to that, we do provide food products through what's called a labor agreement. This is another thing that we sign. It's another piece of paperwork. It's basically, once again, you're paying me for the labor it takes for me to make you something like cheese. You're not actually buying the cheese from me. You're telling me, you know what, we have this amount of milk. I'd like you to please make us some cheese. And I make the cheese from the milk that you have, and I provide the cheese to you, and you're just paying me for the work, the labor. Again, if you have any questions about that, leave a comment. A lot of people I've explained it to say it's really straightforward, but if there's any sort of questions on what a herd share is, please let me know. It sounds complicated, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty, it's not so it's not so confusing. You know, there's a lot of legalese in the actual contract itself, but if there's anything that you question or anything that you're curious about, just send me a message. And you can message me about either purchasing milk, not purchasing milk, but getting a herd share, or any of the other products that we have available. We do have a few that are available that are not food items, and those are available to the public. Our food items are only available through the herd share. But if you're curious on any of that, you can either message me on Facebook, you can email me at youandmehomestead.creamery@gmail.com. Once again, it's EWE. That is the term for a female sheep. So youandmehomestead.creamery@gmail.com, and I will answer any questions. I will provide you with a copy of a herd share agreement if you're curious and you want to know what is kind of involved, and then we can go from there. And we will be doing some of that initial paperwork. If you're like, I just want to do it, absolutely. We will start that paperwork in February so that when we have milk available, you can get it immediately. If you're someone who is not 100% sure, we will be doing paperwork probably after lambing, after our last mom has had her baby. And we'll start collecting that from people as well. And then the last thing, and I touched on this a little bit before, but I just wanted to clarify. I get a lot of questions on, do you have XYZ product? Most recently I've been getting a lot of, are there sheep available? Do you sell dairy sheep? We sell lambs mostly. We're still growing our flock, so we didn't sell any this past year because we wanted to grow our dairy. But we're planning to hopefully sell some by end of April, early May. That's when, about 30 days after they probably lambed, that's when we wean the babies from the mom, and that's when they will be available. You are welcome to get the little lamb sooner. You would just need to do powdered milk for feeding. But that's something that if you're interested in a lamb, we can discuss between us, and we will help work around it. You need to do it a week sooner or a week later. We can discuss that. So we will most likely have lambs available in April. We're not currently selling any adults. That might change. We have to reevaluate our flock come June. So we might have them available, maybe not. We're not sure. That's something we have to really figure out once milking season has come and we evaluate everybody. The other products we do have available, we've done eggnog and hot chocolate for this last season. We just introduced soap, sheep's milk soap. We're going to start doing some cheeses, some yogurts. Any food products, again, are only available to herd share members. And things like, we might potentially have some wool and yarn, as well as some soap. Those things will be available to the general public. It's just the food items that we have to do through the herd share. But those are all the products that we're planning to do this year. Like I said, I'm the only maker. I'm the only one who is making the food products. So the best way that I can think of to be able to provide as much variety as possible, because I get questions on, are you doing yogurt? Do you do ice cream? Which ice cream was our big hot ticket item last summer. But do you do ice cream, cheese, yogurt, a bunch of other things? And I just can't do all of them at the same time. I just mentally, I'm like, I just can't bounce around between 5 different items and be able to provide quality as well as quantity. So the plan for this coming year is that every month we will provide our herd share members with 1 to 3 choices of products that we will be making, and then you just do a pre-order. You just tell me what amount you want, how much, and we go from there. So like probably mid-July when it's really hot, it'll be a lot of ice cream. And then probably fallish will be some cheeses, and then some soaps. Not sure if we'll be doing a ton of soap during the summer. We will have soap available in February for our Valentine's Day group. I've got a few bars cooking. But yeah, so when it comes to products, there's some available to everybody, some available to herd share members. They're not all going to be available at the same time. It'll be kind of in shifts. And when it comes to the actual animals, they will be most likely available early summer, late spring, early summer. The other thing we do hope to have a food product in the future is actual lamb meat. That is one of the goals once we have a big enough flock and we have an excess to where people aren't purchasing actual animals. We will have extra. We will have extra sheep that we will be processing, and providing to our community as well, because lamb is delicious and everybody should have some. But that's it. Those are the 3 questions. If you have any further questions, please let me know. I really want to be able to provide as much information about our dairy, about what we do, about all the products. Our main product is milk. That is our top priority. Our herd share members are our top priority. They've kind of become like family, so we really appreciate our herd share members and really love on them, and they're kind of the people who have supported us, so we support them first and foremost. But we also like to provide as much help to others as possible. And I think that's it. I always go way over what I think I'm going to. But I appreciate you guys being here. If you come on after the live, please, and have any questions, whether it's herd shares, whether it's products, whether it's anything I've talked about, whether it's just wanting to know more about me. What's your favorite color? Comment below. I really want to get to know you guys as well as you guys get to know us. We do offer tours to our herd share members. It's one of our sort of first month perks of signing up with us. We provide a full-on farm tour where we explain what we do, how we do it. You get to see the milking parlor, all that stuff. And it is only available to our herd share members. So when you join, you get a tour, you get milk, you get us loving on you, and you get some really awesome customer service from my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old. So if you are interested, again, you can reach me either through the Facebook Messenger or at youandmehomestead.creamery@gmail.com. We would love to have you, and yeah, it's gonna be a really, really good year, and I'm super excited. We also will be doing as many lives Wednesdays at 2 o'clock as possible. During lambing season and intro into milking, those might be a little more scarce, but from now on, leading up to it, I hope to be on here every week as much as we can. So thank you guys for joining me. We love you guys, and yeah, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year, and I can't wait to have you join us.